Hi everybody and welcome back to my Decorating One-on-One channel. Today's video is a do-it-yourself tutorial on how to create a modern abstract wall art featuring a word or a quote that you like. I have selected for this project a 24 by 24 inch gallery wrapped canvas, but you can definitely work with a larger canvas and feature less or more words. I broke down the supply list by steps, but you can find the complete list below. For step 1, what we want to achieve is texture. So we'll need our gallery wrap canvas, the box of tissues. Make sure you split the plies, Mod Podge, which is a glue, finisher, and sealer all in one, a joint knife or any piece of plastic that's at least 2 to 3 inches wide, and a thick brush. We will take our brush and apply a generous layer of Mod Podge to our canvas. We will do this in sections to ensure the glue won't dry in between applications. Then we're going to take a tissue and apply it on top. Make sure you split the plies before applying the tissue. You will notice that it will stick to the canvas right away. We're going to take then more Mod Podge and apply it on top of the tissue. Don't worry if you end up with a lot of tissue crammed in one spot. You can level it with the joint knife or the piece of plastic. You can use an old credit card that you're about to destroy or a points card. Any piece of plastic with some rigidity and at least a width of 2 to 3 inches will do. And we are going to repeat these moves until our canvas is completely covered with tissue and we have some nice texture happening. Don't worry if you notice a lot more texture onto one area and less onto the other, or sometimes even none in certain areas. That's the beauty of it. And that's how our canvas will look like at the end of step 1. And now, let's start step 2. For step 2, we want to add color on the area where our text will be. We will need tissue paper with an interesting pattern or color. I use the brand Decopatch, which you can purchase at Deserres.ca. I included a link below. We need scissors to cut the tissue paper. We will use our Mod Podge again, the joint knife or the piece of plastic you've been using, and the thick brush. We'll cut the tissue paper into strips of about 3/4 of an inch to an inch wide, and then we will cut them again in half. It just makes it for an easier application. We are going to apply a layer of Mod Podge where we want the tissue paper to go, and then stick the pieces of tissue paper on top. So as you can see, there's no rule as to how you should do this. I mix the patterns. I mean, you can use wider pieces of paper, you can use smaller pieces of tissue paper. It does not matter. It's a very casual process. And then on top, we are going to apply more Mod Podge. The Mod Podge will dry transparent, so don't worry about the milky finish you're seeing right now. We are going to continue until the entire desired area is covered. You can do this 2 ways. Make proper measurements so you know exactly how much area you need to cover with color to offer a good background to your entire text. Or you can do what I did. I kind of eyeball it, and then you're going to have to pay the price and go back and maybe fill in some more areas as I didn't have enough coverage. But we'll get to that in the next step. The supply list for step 3 is very short. We just need the acrylics, 3 to 4 colors that I have selected from the colors featured on the pattern tissue paper, and the joint knife or the piece of plastic we've been using. For the acrylic colors, you can use a craft quality such as Americana or CraftSmart. Take 2 of the colors available and apply a small quantity in one of the corners. And then try to spread it, covering as big of a surface as you can. Then repeat the steps with the 3rd color. And again, try to spread it, but do not try to mix it with the other colors. You don't want to end up with one big gray area. You want to be able to still see all the colors, but nicely intertwined. So we're going to repeat these steps and make sure that we cover the entire area where we have applied the tissue paper, but leaving some parts where you can still see the tissue paper underneath. This way we have different layers of texture and it will make the art a lot more interesting. And that's how our canvas will look like at the end of step 3. And now on to step 4. The supply list for step 4 is also pretty short. You may use a ruler to help keep the first row of letters straight, and you'll need a pack of 2-inch adhesive letters that we're going to use to write our quote. We'll place the ruler to form a straight line, and then we want to ensure that it's not going to move, so we're going to keep it in place with some masking tape. For my code, I'm going to align all my words to the right, so I will always start with the last letter of the word. So that's my first word, let. And then I'm going to leave about 1 finger width between the lines and continue with the next word. You may find that some letters are harder to apply, like the O's, and you'll see W's, M's, but they actually can be removed and reapplied, so you can keep trying until you get it in a straight line. And this is where my estimations failed me, so I didn't have enough color on the background, so I had to go back and add some more color. I didn't use any tissue paper, so I just used the acrylics. I will let it dry and come back to finish the words in that area at the end. You can use the ruler the whole time to ensure each line is perfectly parallel with the one above or below. But if it doesn't bother you, it does not have to be perfect. Don't forget, this is art, so it can be left to the interpretation of each artist. For step 5, we just need a large tube of titanium white and our thick brush. For the acrylic or the titanium white, go with a better quality than the craft quality, as you may need too many layers if you stick with the craft quality. We need to cover our entire canvas with a good layer of titanium white. Outside the colored area, we can get away with only 1 layer, but within the colored area, you may have to put in 2 or 3 layers. Now, be careful when you fill in the area with the letters to not go under the stickers. This way you're going to get a clean colored letter during the last step. We're going to let the canvas dry, and then we're off to our last step. All we need here are tweezers to pull the letters off the canvas and acrylics for areas that may need touch-up. So we're going to take our tweezers and find the corner where we can pull the sticker off, and we're going to slowly do it for all the letters on our canvas. Some of the letters will come off pretty clean, while others not so much. So you may have to do a little bit of a touch-up at the end with white or with color, depending on which area was affected. Like you notice here with my B, I'm going to have to go back with a little bit of white around it to redefine the letter. Now for touch-up, you can use the same brush, or you can use a thinner brush depending on the area that you want to fix. And here it is, our final canvas. See how the colors are so nicely blended together, and we have so much variation throughout the canvas, from yellow to dark green. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and you will come back for more. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.